So, a second innovation for the month of April is able to set the max resolution for our video adaptive bitrate streaming feature. And the goal behind this is to help customers have more control over the maximum resolution at which their video will be displayed. And that's usually with the goal of helping them optimize bandwidth costs and usage.
And that makes sense. I mean, because like if you think about how much bandwidth, I can't even fathom it, frankly. But if you were to deliver all of your video as 4K or even all of your video as 1080p, which are pretty high resolutions, but the resolution that we film a lot of our stuff in is what people prefer. It is to say you're consuming a lot of bandwidth. So if you can say, well, I would prefer for people to be able to see this at 720p versus then 1080p, it probably makes a considerable difference on the amount of cost that's associated with being able to deliver that video, if I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a very common example are e-commerce videos. So, today, most of the videos are shot in 1080p. The original resolution is pretty high. There's a lot of high quality videos produced. But on the product detail page, you may want to restrict the video to 720p because that's often pretty good resolution still. And it still helps the end user to engage and get a good perception of the product that you're trying to sell. But if if a video is being used on the landing page of the e-commerce site, you may want to use it in its original 1080p because that's the very first impression the user may have with your brand. And so you want to make a very good first impression. Of course, with adaptive bitrate streaming, what it's going to do is, depending on the end user's device and the speed of the internet connection, it will still pick the most optimal resolution. So you don't have to worry about slow loads or buffer. But at least by making sure that the ABR only selects the max resolution for a specific video, you can balance end user experience versus cost as and when possible.
Yeah. And I think this is cool because we've had things like this in the past with other Cloudinary transformations. The one that's coming to mind for me is Q Auto, where with Q Auto, we also have variants of Q Auto. We have like Q Auto Best, we have Q Auto Eco, and that helps to the exact same situation that you described, where if you have a big, beautiful homepage header, or you have something that you're trying to show in its full resolution and you want to make sure that you're still optimizing it, you'd use Q Auto Best. But if you're trying to show a big thumbnail gallery where people aren't going to be zooming into all the precise details, then Q Auto Eco makes sense because you're trying to load a lot of imagery at once. And I like the fact that we're taking a lot of those concepts of it doesn't have to be one algorithm or one type of optimization for all use cases. We're allowing people to be able to make choices, and in this case, choose a resolution that makes the most sense when it comes to video display. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's also better predictability around cost and being able to um, make this eco-friendly as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Paul, how does this work?
So it's pretty straightforward. I'm showing a demo here that we've built for SP Auto, and I've added a bit of functionality to it where we can actually select the max resolution. Effectively, when you select the max resolution, or you can put it into your URL, you're effectively saying SP Auto, and then you're just passing the additional parameter, which says max res, and then you can pass 720p, 540p. So it's really simple to do that from the API perspective. But I want to demonstrate how that actually works with this this interface right here. So I'm going to hit run demo, and this will load a video bike, hypothetical, bike customer who wants to show some good high res videos for their product. So if I click here, it's gonna take a minute to load. And so as this loads, you'll actually start to see the event log down here. This event log is a bit of JavaScript that's tied into the player. And we're going to see some of the things we're looking at here is when that rendition actually changes, right? So this is in a pretty small space. And so we're seeing this rendition change to 960 by 540p. If I were to blow this video up and take it into full screen, it's going to have a little bit more of room to play with, and the ABI is going to detect that. The player is going to detect that. And if I come back in here, we'll see that this went up to 1280 by 720. So it did increase the size when I blew that up. So that works great. So this is working as would expect ABI to work. It's reacting to the various conditions under which it's streaming. But let's say hypothetically you're a developer and you know that the screen size is never going to go above a certain, you looked at your designs, the screen ratios of all your responsive designs, that there's going to be a max set here at, say, I'll use 360p as an example, just because that's an extreme. So if I hit run demo, it's going to take another second to load. And as it does this, it's actually going to change. It's going to put some parameters around how big this video can actually get. And so now the video is loaded again, and we see that this height parameter is set to 360. So that's restricting the size to what I've sent via this demo. Even if I blow this demo up again, if you can visually see this, it still looks a little bit lower quality because of the setting that I've forced in there. And if I close this down, you'll see that height has not changed at all. It stayed at 360. So right now, I did this really to demonstrate blowing it up, et cetera, to demonstrate how this is working, how this is forcing that size of this video. But again, if you're a developer, that's never going to get above those dimensions, then this becomes really useful. You can just pass this max resolution along, and you're introducing some economies into how you're serving your media. It's gonna be as good as it needs to be without you breaking the bank, and without you doing some expenditures that you don't need to have in your video serving.
Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So Aditya, the main thing that I'm seeing here for people is that if they want to start using this today, they can. And it's simply going in and adding certain types of transformations. It should be SP Auto. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes, SP Auto, and then you will pass along the height parameters. You pass around that max size parameter along with it. It's all well documented on our documentation site.
That's fantastic. And so with that said, also similar to our first innovation, this is something where anybody of any plan size, of any type of account with Cloudinary, they can start utilizing this today?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone that is using or planning to use our adaptive bitrate streaming, they have one more tool in their toolkit.